Joining us now is the Chief Counsel for the American Center for Law and Justice, Jay Sekulow, the host of Justice with Judge Jeanine Pirro. Thank you both for being with us. Jay, did she violate law? I know, look, you mean, did I clean it with like a cloth? Maybe very cute. I never sent or received classified information. That turned out to be false. How vulnerable is she here in terms of a criminal referral, at least from the FBI director?
I think on the criminal referral side, especially, Sean, you mentioned, and I've got a copy of some of the documentation, you got this thing called portion marking, which is the classification. She's made that position. I've not taken anything. I've not received anything classified. That proved to be false. Actual emails that have been released were marked classified. So the criminal referral is easier to see happen than the actual indictment, which is kind of the position I've had since the beginning of this. Because what happens here is the FBI agents simply go through the evidence. They go through the evidence. They make a determination based on that evidence what is a criminal case or what is not. They package that up. They give it to the Justice Department. So I think the criminal referral is more likely than the actual indictment. I just don't see Loretta Lynch, who thinks, you fight terror by love, doing an indictment.
That's as big a political scandal. You know, isn't the mishandling alone, Judge Jeanine, isn't that in and of itself a crime?
Yes, and I don't know what everybody's dancing about here. Jay is absolutely right. The truth is that the FBI will probably make a criminal referral. The issue is then whether they will have access to a grand jury. Now, the woman, you know, Sean, I have to tell you, watching that intro, every time she opens her mouth, she lies. I don't think she even knows the difference between the truth and a lie. She says, I did it for convenience. Meanwhile, she had 2 BlackBerries, she had an iPad, all this other stuff.
All right,
and
I don't want to interrupt you, but I want to play something, because you just hit it, and I'll let you finish your thought, because this is important. She said that she had a personal email server so she could carry 1 device.
Right.
Watch this.
I thought it would be easier to carry just 1 device for my work and for my personal emails instead of 2. I think that it might have been smarter to have those 2 devices from the very beginning.
iPhone or Android?
iPhone.
Okay, in full disclosure, BlackBerry.
And a BlackBerry.
I have an iPad, a mini iPad, an iPhone, and a BlackBerry.
Well, somebody with 1 device has an iPad, a mini, an iPhone, and a BlackBerry.
Yeah.
So she just lies. She gets caught.
She lies, and nobody seems to care about it. And here's the danger. This is a woman who is, you know, she's so worried about Donald Trump and Donald Trump's temperament. This woman is just a liar. There's nothing that she talks about, whether it's Benghazi and a video or whether it's the Clinton Foundation and forgetting to put, you know, monies that come in. The woman lies constantly. She could be indicted if there were access to a grand jury. But let me tell you, Sean, this woman, the problem is primarily that she was communicating with Barack Obama on this private email server, and he knew about it. So in order for him to be, if she's to be indicted, they'd have to call him as a witness.
Jay, let me go into that. And let me also show, this week we learned that Hillary Clinton's server caused security concerns within the federal government, and I'm going to play her in 2015. It actually, now the State Department staffers wrestled for weeks in December of 2010 over a serious technical problem that affected emails from then Secretary Hillary Clinton's home email server, causing them to literally temporarily disable security features on the government systems. But let's flash back to March of 2015. She contradicts herself. Watch.
There were no security breaches. The use of that server, which started with my husband, certainly proved to be effective and secure.
Jay, she just contradicts herself left and right. I got to believe if I'm James
here's
Comey.
The problem, of course, and that statement is incorrect. And unfortunately for the former Secretary of State, the State Department's Inspector General issued a lengthy report refuting those statements, in fact, saying that there was not only security breaches, but that secured personnel were put at risk. And remember, the Secretary of State also had said previously that, in fact, she had relied on State Department legal counsel, and they were aware, and they said they didn't even know she had a private server. So the legal department saying they didn't know anything about it. So I think it goes back to what Judge Jeanine said, and that is, at the end of the day, I think making the case from the agents, and I used to do this when I was at Treasury. We would make the case, and then I have to ship it over to the Justice Department, and they've got to determine whether they're going to impanel the grand jury. And I think what Judge Jeanine said is completely correct. The fact that some of those emails went to the president, I think means that the president is not going to authorize his attorney general to go ahead and have a grand jury impaneled to review this case. I just don't see it.
Judge.
But then the question is, what about the Clinton Foundation? There will be enough to put in a grand jury without jeopardizing the president. That will be the true test.
Wow, pretty fascinating. This still is going to have.
Stuff.
There's a lot of
legs.